What's up, guys? It's Cormac from The Disciples here, and I'm here with Marcus Patel, who came top 32 at YCS Vancouver. What deck did you play?
I played Unchained.
Okay, and what was your reason for playing this deck?
So originally, Thursday morning, I was playing YCS for maybe reasons I'll explain in more detail at the end. I played against Aaron, and he beat me like 6-0 in games, and I was like, I can't play this deck. And then, thanks to the generous Jun from Yu-gi-wang, he had an Unchained call, and he was kind enough to let me use it. And then I tried to learn the deck Thursday night, Friday, all of Saturday, Sunday morning. I think I played it at an okay level, but not enough to where I think I was, the level of Jesse, Pack, the really experienced guys with this deck. And also with the deck building choices, I didn't really understand the deck too much to know how I'd want to change it. But Aaron, I feel like Aaron built a very amazing, good enough list. Now when I played it afterwards, I was like, there's a lot of smart choices. That's it so far. I thought the deck was good.
Cool. We'll get into. Actually, do you want to do shoutouts first?
I'll do it at the end.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, we'll get into the list now.
So it's honestly very standard. Tour guide and Fetus Rhino. I saw some lists don't play it, but it's just a really good value card. A lot of the extra deck tends to be standardized. So these are the 6 extenders. They're really good at making sure you play the game going second and also going first. But yeah, going second, the extenders really help you play into boards. And then the one-offs that you need. I heard some people say you can play through Nibiru without this card. Currently, I don't know those lines, so I keep using this. But its grave effect is really, really cool. There's some amazing lines that you can use with Samara to maybe summon it back from the grave and pop it. Okay, Samara, that you can bring it back and pop it. And also, I think in the mirror match, it's pretty good at playing through a board, especially because if they've already used their Soul of Rage, a lot of the next interruptions tend to be destruction.
Yeah.
So
you have to negate it, you just get it back.
Yeah, so it's usually pretty good that way. Abominable is really insane. It really actually helps in the mirror match, I think, too, against the Caesar, because they actually Caesar can't negate the trap. So it's for me, it's one of the best ways to play it. And this is the DVD package. What do you think of it?
Fixed a lot of consistency issues I had with the deck in the initial stages where you would open a trap and just not enough ways to pop it. Because you only have 6 plus 3. And obviously you're okay, so you technically have 10. But this is also just a really good going second card. So it has a lot of versatility. It gives you the ability to go for Zeus, play into cashier really well. So I think despite the additional brick, because most of these cards are not great to draw. In most hands, these aren't good draws. This one can chain block, so it's an extender. But overall, these 3 are really bad, and this one's never really good on its own.
Cool.
So overall, you're adding another brick, but I think it substantially increases your ability to play the game. So I would definitely keep playing it moving forward. There's arguments for cutting it, but I think this deck functions best when it's playing it with its engine. So I would rather cut down on the non-engine to make sure my engine is functioning before I even consider adding more non-engine to this deck.
Yeah, I think I agree. This helps the deck go fast in so many ways.
Yeah, it also gives you an add-off Caesar, and sometimes your deck can be low on card economy, so it gives you a card to pop whenever Caesar gets linked off.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of times where you actually need a card. You get this off Caesar when it's sent to the graveyard.
Yeah, so it's follow-up or card to pick.
And it's common that you can always get access to this guy for your board if your opponent's got a strong push, and this can usually be a really good discard.
It also gives you a time win con when the deck didn't have one, which is really beneficial.
Yeah, I never went into time, but for me, the matches, I didn't play too many mirrors, so I didn't go into time too much, but I know the mirrors can actually drag one because they're very interactive. Another reason is because for Zeus. I think it can come up in cash. That's probably the matchup it comes up in the most. It's still standard compared to what's being done. The free searches. Really good cards.
Yep. Prospect's crazy.
Yeah, free traps. I tend to side one out, going second. I'm doing the Frost package. Free Eclipse, free Imperm. I actually really like Eclipse. I think Eclipse covers Pearly. I think Eclipse covers Cash. Eclipse is also, I think it's good in the mirror match. Going first is I think it can be tough for your opponent to link climb when you have got to the monster set if you use it at a really good time. And it also means you don't have to play into Frost too early. So sometimes it might just stop them there.
Yeah,
and
Eclipse is probably the best card in the deck, like non-engine wise for me.
Yeah.
The main reason this isn't Book of Moon is because I wanted something that was better into the mirror. So you can just like hold this for Caesar. And then it's like a little bit worse into Purely, obviously, because it's not Book of Moon. But it's like, I think, what was the other main reason? It was like a hand trap and our deck didn't play any. So if we played against like a deck where Imperm was impactful, maybe like a branded deck where it wasn't as good, I just wanted to have some respect for the other decks in the format.
I think going forward, I'm not sure about these 3 spots. Maybe they're flex. I think these are flexible to what people are doing. These Pearly seems prevalent, and even this main deck doesn't really respect Pearly enough. So to cut these from the deck is like feels crazy, a bit crazy.
This card's not leaving my deck.
Yeah, Frost kind of works with this deck's engine, but it's also really good in the mirror match. So I can't see it going anywhere. But I can imagine the Unchained list in Top Cut being somewhat similar. I've seen some people maybe change the DDD guy. The guy I lost to, Cody, he said he didn't play the DDD guy and he played Fenrir instead for the mirror, which is fair enough. I can understand it. He's trading consistency for a breaker. The extra deck, I think, is pretty standard apart from maybe 1 or 2 cards. 2 Solar Rage, 1 Anguish, Abomination, Muckracker, Unicorn, Griffin, Goddess, the rank 3, Caesar and Zeus. So there's an argument to maybe play 2 of this for the mirror, because the mirror can be quite grindy. I've also seen an argument to maybe cut this down to 2. Maybe I'll have to play more games. The Griffin is pretty good into Nibiru, but actually I always make the rank 6.
Same, yeah.
I always make the rank 6.
Follow-up, I think Caesar overall is just a better card.
Like,
he knows more to books, but it guarantees you follow-up. I love it better.
Yeah, no, it guarantees you follow-up. It trades really well. It's cheaper than the Griffin line. With the Escape 2, it's very easy for you to clear your own board to maybe play through a Talents, play through Change of Heart take. So I keep...
We both prioritize Caesar over the weekend over Griffin, 100%.
Yeah. You get like an ad from it, you get the Shavara, you literally lose 2 cards by not going Caesar. Of course, if you play against maybe Camaro or your deck where you know you can get Griffin off, sure. I've seen Book 'em in decrease a bit, so maybe... Caesar's been fine. Even the games where I get booked, I'm like, okay, they have a 5-card hand, it's easier to beat. Like that's how I felt, because I felt like I just have a lot of cards.
Because if this deck doesn't die, like, you're gonna win the grind game over because like most decks in the format have destruction, and your deck functions really strongly with
the side deck was free Ash, free Nibiru, free Storms, the Frost targets, and free anti-spell. You have to main aside the Ashes because there's a matchup that comes up with. I think Nibiru is really good in the mirror. There could be an argument to main in the Nibiru with how popular Unchained is now. I actually don't think Nibiru is amazing versus Unchained. There's actually so many lines that play through it and a lot of hand ranges that play through Nibiru. And sometimes I feel like you resolve this Nibiru, you actually go -1. I think a lot of people play this card as their,
it's a skill check.
But it's paired. I think it can be amazing. This with Imperm, this with Ash, I think it can be amazing, of course. The Storms are also good in the mirror match. I really like Frost for Barrier because my main deck didn't really respect the combo fusion decks well. Change of Art for the mirror.
Branded, Purely, all those decks.
A lot of times they do siding hand traps. They have the free Ash, they have the free Nibiru. So I tend to get value out of the Frost for the Floodgate. The anti-spell I actually never got to resolve it. But I can imagine versus the really good players.
Chimera, it's good in the mirror because like the main cards you lose to are like the tactics and stuff. It's like just an easy card to cover. Put in covers all the matchups. Better than Barrier because of obviously things like the mirror. Those decks cash.
For me, since I never drew it, whenever I went first, my end board was pretty robust enough to get me there. Given how it interacts and given the follow-up.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this being like a comfort card. I considered cutting it before the weekend. I didn't have the balls to do it, but I think like if you're good enough with the deck, you're always engine knows and resolve. And this card was probably unnecessary, but it's a nice, safe thing to have. Obviously, if we're going first against the entire meta.
Sure. Yeah. And good against things like the talents and thrust and mirror matches and stuff, right?
The main card just like loses to like the talents, the thrust, all those types of things. So like having this just like every deck was putting them in against you, so it saved that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was the list. So the story behind this deck is that I was testing a couple decks on DB. I know plants, I know Cash Theory, so that's why I was playing, but I wasn't actually winning with those decks online or at locals, so I was like, okay, I was trying something else. So the first deck I tried, Camaro, I didn't think was good enough because some of the hands, you can't really use your whole 5-card hands. Some of the cards do the same thing. So the next deck was Pearly. 2 weeks ago, I thought it was a pretty bad pick because the amount of books that were in the format, the amount of hand traps that were in the format. So I thought it might not be a good deck to play. And then I started testing Rescue Ace.
Yeah.
Rescue Ace was pretty good on DB. But it was good on DB into diverse decks, but I think it had a lot of problems versus itself.
Yeah.
The Unchained matchup was pretty tough. There was consistency issues. The math on the deck to draw consistent hand wasn't that good. So with Rescuers, I was getting a couple wins online, but when I started testing the deck with Aaron, there's nothing I could really do to beat the Unchained matchup. It was so unfavored, and when the top players in the tournament were playing Unchained, I felt like it didn't give me a chance to win the event. So from June, from Yu-gi-wang, I had an Unchained core, and I thought it was good into Rescue Ace. I thought it was good into a couple other decks. So I thought, he gave me an Unchained deck, which I thought was pretty good. So yeah, that's about it. I'm sure I could ramble a lot more.
Yeah, cool. Well, you said you shouted out June. That nice segue into your shoutouts.
Okay, I've actually got quite a list. So Leon, I have to shout out Leon for lending me cards for the Rescue Ace deck. Even though I didn't play it, he spent a lot of time trying to find Binary Sorcerer, all the Firewall cards for me. Shout out to Aaron and Betty for helping me learn the deck. I only picked it up Thursday night, and there was a lot of time spent in between Friday and Saturday, in between rounds, and Sunday morning trying to learn the deck. I'm sure I could play the deck better, but without Aaron and Betty, I definitely wouldn't have been able to learn and play this deck. Shout out to all the EU people that I travelled with. It made the whole event enjoyable. I usually just travel, in my UK group, but being able to go to a foreign place and meet new people, I really enjoyed. So shout out to all the nice guys I met this weekend.
Yep.
And obviously the biggest shout outs to the Brotherhood Games, who've always supported me for 14 years. Shout out to the Disciples who always support me, and that's about it.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, congrats, Marcus, on your top 32. And we'll do it again in Cancun next week.
Yes. I don't know if I'll play this deck because I think the format is very diverse.
Yeah. It's fine. Cool. All right. Thanks, Marcus. We'll chat soon. Bye now.